colors. Side boys, post. Ladies and gentlemen, the commanding officer.
Mr. Prime Minister, distinguished visitors and guests, welcome aboard USS Harry S. Truman, our nation's 8th Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, commissioned in 1998. I am honored to serve as the 13th commanding officer of Harry S. Truman. On behalf of my fellow warfare commanders and with the Truman team, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our Croatian guests for the warm welcome we have received since we arrived in your beautiful country on Friday. Our crew has enjoyed their time ashore tasting your food, experiencing your culture, and I am sure the Game of Thrones tours have not hurt the morale either. For many U.S. Navy sailors, one of the key motives they had to join the Navy was a chance to see the world, to meet strangers who would become friends, to see beautiful and historic landscapes far from home, and to truly experience a nation they may have never had the chance to see in their lifetime. Visiting the city of Split in the country of Croatia with a history that runs 1,700 years into the past fulfills every one of those expectations and then some. While port visits are a chance for our sailors to recharge their batteries, as we say, it also introduces them to a country with the same convictions on maritime security as our own. After we departed from the shores of Virginia 2.5 months ago, we knew this deployment would be one where we have exceptional opportunities to challenge ourselves and grow with our partners and allies. Our sailors have had the chance to immerse themselves in the NATO alliance more so on this deployment than this ship has had since it was decommissioned nearly 2 decades ago. Our commitment to our alliance with Croatia under NATO grows stronger the longer we operate in the Adriatic, and we look forward to furthering this relationship long after Harry S. Truman departs your shores. At this time, I would like to introduce our Carrier Strike Group Admiral, Rear Admiral Kurt Renshaw. Admiral?
Good afternoon, and following up on the very kind words of the captain, and welcome to all of you on board USS Harry S. Truman, which is the flagship of Carrier Strike Group 8. We've been appreciative of the opportunity to visit the country and are most appreciative of the opportunity today to host you on board. There are 7,000 men and women of the Harry S. Truman Strike Group, and I speak for all of them when I say thank you for your gracious hospitality during our stay here in Split. While the Truman is the centerpiece of the strike group, it is truly through the collective strength of the ships, squadrons, and staffs that we possess that provides a tremendous and formidable maritime combat capability. Some of the aircraft that you see before you in the hangar and up on the flight deck today are just a small fraction of what Carrier Air Wing 1's 9 squadrons are able to do. And they're commanded by Captain Patrick Horgan, who is with us today, and I'm sure we'll look forward to meeting some of you later. Also joining me on board today is Captain Todd Zinner, who's the commander of Destroyer Squadron 28, who oversees a multitude of Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers. Also not here in person is our Air Defense Commander, Captain Christopher Marvin, who, with his team, are hard at work right now in the Adriatic Sea as we speak, on board USS San Jacinto, and also not with us today, but working hard behind the scenes is our Information and Electronic Warfare Commander, Captain Nick Shepard. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a key member of our Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group. And while we have enjoyed working with NATO and partners and allies throughout Europe since we left on deployment, long before deployment, the Norwegian ship Fridtjof Nansen started their workup with us. They arrived in Norfolk about 3 months before we left home port and have been an integral part of this Carrier Strike Group. And so I welcome today Commander Iris Fivelstadt, who with some of her team represents Fridtjof Nansen and is a tangible representation of the truest of integration among partner navies. While the whole team works together to make our strike group stronger, our true power comes from our ability to rapidly integrate with partners on the sea, under the sea, and in the air. Many of you have probably seen the news recently about Strike Force NATO's Neptune strike with 21 other NATO nations, and that included our Croatian partners both at sea and as well as joint tactical air controllers over land. As a key contributor to the NATO alliance, having the opportunity to conduct events with our Croatian allies has been a wonderful opportunity for our ships and our air crews. We greatly value these opportunities that allow for increased interoperability and development of maritime capabilities with Croatia. As a fellow maritime nation, we understand how important maritime security is across the globe. It is through our collective naval capabilities that nations can promote the freedom of the seas for the betterment of all. We look forward to continuing our warm relationship with Croatia in the maritime domain as we expand capability, capacity, and interoperability alongside a key NATO ally. The stabilization and deterrence efforts in the Adriatic can only be made stronger by more opportunities to promote regional stability and international security. I thank all of you again for coming this afternoon. I truly thank all of you for the great hospitality you have shown our sailors, and I enjoyed meeting some of you later, as well as the opportunity for you to meet some members of our team. Thanks for being here, Mr. Prime Minister.
Dobar dan svima, sve vas lijepo pozdravljam, dopustit ćete mi iznimku da danas govorim na engleskom kod naših američkih prijatelja. Dear Vice Admiral Renshaw, dear Captain Duff and Commanding Officer of USS Truman, dear Chargé d'Affaires of the United States Embassy, Mr. Fleming, dragi članice i članovi vlade, poštovane zastupnice i zastupnici u Hrvatskom saboru, poštovani predstavnici lokalnih vlasti, dragi i uvaženi uzvanici ovdje. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Croatian government, I'm pleased to say a few words aboard of this mighty aircraft carrier, a symbol of American commitment to NATO and defense of our common values of freedom and democracy. It is a symbol that is all the stronger in that it bears the very name of the American president who was in office at the end of the Second World War and who initiated the creation of our alliance, this North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The USS Harry Truman docked off Croatia's second largest city of Split, a sister city of Los Angeles since 1994. This is a symbol of a close relationship that the United States and Croatia have. We are friends, partners, and allies. The aircraft carrier's presence today is also a symbol of our time, a time at which we need to speak with one strong transatlantic voice and state clearly that we stand united to defend freedom and democracy of our nations as well as to preserve peace Atlantic area. While we welcome this American aircraft carrier in the Adriatic, a NATO-protected sea in its entirety, I want to emphasize that our alliance is not a threat to anyone. NATO is a defensive alliance of like-minded nations who live and promote freedom. By building NATO unity, we promote peace, as we did together in Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, and the Mediterranean, or as we still do in Kosovo or on the shores of the Baltic. American aircraft carriers are not news in the Adriatic. We welcomed them in the 90s when we were still fighting for our independence, and they have been welcome visitors ever since. In 2000, we welcomed the USS Dwight Eisenhower in a 4-day visit to Dubrovnik. This was the first occasion that one American aircraft carrier anchored in the Croatian territorial waters. Since Croatia became a NATO member state in 2009, our alliance got strengthened by a true and determined partner, and a nation that cherishes freedom and its independence. For that reason, my government has only a few months ago made a historic decision to renew our fighter jets, and we have acquired 12 French Rafale planes, a mighty new generation multi-role fighter. We are looking forward when our pilots will fly in the Rafale wing to wing with American fighter aces. On land, we have arranged with the American government to ensure a delivery of 62 fully and equally equipped Bradley fighting vehicles that should enable Croatian military to meet our NATO target capability and substantially contribute to this flank of the alliance. Together with the Kiowa warriors and the Black Hawk helicopters, they will be added to the list of US military equipment already in use in our armed forces. Standing on a US Navy vessel, I should mention the Croatian Navy and Coast Guard, which is a military branch of the Croatian armed forces that we also plan to improve in the years to come. Therefore, I was very pleased to hear your assessment of the participation of Croatian Navy, of Croatian land forces and Croatian military in general during the exercise Neptune Strike that took place here in the Adriatic and across Europe during January. We are very proud that you commend the high quality and interoperability of Croatian military forces with our partners and allies. Croatia will continue strengthening its capabilities in order to play its part in ensuring peace in part of Europe in an increasingly challenging world. I know you are here for serious exercises, but I hope that these few days that your sailors, that your servicemen had off during few days in Split were something they will cherish as they continue to be on board of this aircraft. We were happy to be your hosts. We respect you as our strategic partners, and in the good old Croatian seafarer tradition, I wish you mirno more, calm seas, and hope to see you again.
Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Chargé d'Affaires, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you.